All right, let me know when John gets on. That's interesting. This is ONN.
Concert inductees include Foo Fighters, Tina Turner, Todd Rundgren, Jay-Z, Carole King, and the Go-Go's. Presenters include Paul McCartney, Taylor Swift, and Lionel Richie. I'm Dave James on the Ohio News Network.
Calls and conversations continue in less than 3 minutes as the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues after this.
Plumbers and Steamfitters Local 83 want to thank the owners and contractors of the Ohio Valley for using their locally trained workers to help build for the future. Local 83 helps design, fabricate, and build the gas infrastructure for the oil and gas industry here in the Ohio Valley. Plumbers and Steamfitters Local 83 is 300 members strong and growing. They also do residential, commercial, and industrial work on both sides of the river. For more information, call Plumbers and Steamfitters Local 83 at 304-233-4445.
Lower your home's energy costs with Owens Corning Panel Insulation and get 11% off everything now at Menards. Foamular panel insulation seals buildings from air and moisture and is perfect for foundations, basement walls, or below a new concrete floor. Right now, save 11% on all Owens Corning Panel Insulation. Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Good through October 30th. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
This is a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test. This concludes this test of the emergency alert system. If this had been an actual emergency, you would have been told where to tune for news and official information. WKKX serves the Wheeling operational area.
Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection. Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection.
Hey, I'm going to the kitchen. Can I grab you a Coors Light?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Huh. I never knew there was a zip line in my fridge.
Hey, buddy!
You got 2 Coors Lights up there?
Always brewed down to 34 degrees. With a taste as cold as the Rockies, only Coors Light gives you refreshment every time.
Here you go. 2 Coors Lights.
Awesome, man. Wow, these are really cold.
That's the only way I deliver it.
Sure, I mean, you being a mountain climber and all,
Yep.
you probably need a pretty warm coat in there, huh?
Yep.
Hey, Ben,
Yeah!
ask him if he has any nachos.
You got any nachos in there?
No.
Just icy cold Coors Light?
Yep.
That makes sense. It is the Rockies.
Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. With great beer comes great responsibility.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm the Storm Tracker Darnell Foster with a look at your local weather forecast for your Friday, with rain showers likely to start the day, ending up mostly cloudy, an afternoon high near 59. Overnight low of 49 under mostly cloudy skies. Clouds, few scattered showers around for your Saturday, with highs in the upper 50s. Have a great weekend, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
Thank you, and welcome to the show.
Do you know what this weekend is? This weekend?
Yeah.
It's Halloween when we hide behind masks.
I know it's Halloween.
Halloween fun is afoot. Happy Halloween to you, too.
It's just so childish. There are grown-up ways to enjoy Halloween.
Well, we're not doing that.
Well, we're not doing that.
The boogeyman is coming.
Ha ha, happy Halloween.
And now, it's showtime.
News, information, conversation, controversy, and fun. This is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
Well, the weather hasn't changed outside a bit since we started off this morning at 7 o'clock. It's still 54 degrees, cloudy and rainy at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport, at my home studios, and at the Robinson Auto Group Studios downtown Wheeling in the heart of the Ohio Valley. Cloudy and rainy is the motif of the day today. Rain will probably wrap up at around 3 o'clock. It's not going to wrap up, but the heavier rain will diminish around 3 o'clock. Showers into the afternoon and showers throughout the day tomorrow. Should stop raining most areas by trick-or-treat time on Sunday night. So the Halloween weekend is underway. 79% of parents admit to stealing candy from their kids on Halloween. I admit I would do that.
I'm surprised that it's only at 79%.
Biff, actually, I thought the same thing. You know, I mean, come on. The kids bring this big bag of candy home, right? Two things to think about. Number one, if you're a really good parent, you say, I don't want them eating all that candy. Come on, it's not good for them. And number two, you look and you go, I think they've got some Reese's peanut butter cups in there. And then you say, I'd better just test this one for you. You know, I'll just test it. Because who doesn't like Reese's peanut butter cups, right?
And if anybody does have any extra candy left over on Monday, they are more than welcome to bring it in to me. I will greatly appreciate it.
Except for candy corn.
Yes.
Except for.
Other than that, if you want to if you have extra and you want to bring it in Monday morning, I will gladly accept it.
BuzzFeed did a poll on what Halloween candies we love and hate, and on BuzzFeed, over 43,000 people claimed they love candy corn. They lie. Who loves candy corn?
I like the picture that's going around on social media, how to eat candy corn. Open the bag, throw it away, then eat a Reese's.
Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Let's see. If you did get a lot of candy, a couple of things to think about. How long will candy stay good? Chocolate, believe it or not, if it's stored in a cool, dry place, will last 8 to 10 months. So you get Hershey bars or Reese's Cups. Now, Reese's Cups wouldn't last 8 months in my house. Wouldn't last 8 days. but you could keep chocolate 8 to 10 months. Hard candy, stuff like lollipops, butterscotch candies, last about a year in their package. Now, as it gets stale, it will become sticky and the texture will feel grainy. Yeah, that's what I want, is a grainy lollipop. Let's see. Candy corn, you can keep it if you want to for about 9 months. And gum, do people still put gum? I guess do they still put gum in your trick-or-treat bags?
Probably the double bubble. The
double
little
bubble
wrapped gum.
Yeah, could be. Gum will last 6 to 9 months. Those are just a few. If you want to keep your.
Do they still make Bazooka? They still make that gum?
I would assume they do. I don't know. I haven't.
Because I'm
I
trying
haven't had
to.
a good piece of gum for a long time.
I'm trying to think of wrapped gum that's wrapped like individuals, but
Yeah.
Other than the double bubble and maybe Bazooka gum,
Bazooka was. Yeah, I always liked the Bazooka. The trouble with all those gums, to me, was you chew it for about 10 chews, and it's like, well, I'm done with the flavor.
Yeah, it loses flavor real quick.
It was a good conversation last hour with Amy Jo Hutchinson. Amy Jo was on the Jon Stewart show last night. Look, Amy just lets things out. She says what she thinks. When she spoke to Congress last year at a congressional hearing, I mean, she said, "Shame on you, shame on you," to members of Congress. She doesn't care. And I could tell last night on the Jon Stewart show, she wasn't totally happy with even, although the panelists on this panel on Jon Stewart were all kind of in the same political event. They were being a little bit too sophisticated for her. Amy's like, bam, just let it go. I first met Amy, it's been a long time ago. She and her mom were actually in a small group class I was conducting at church and got to know them there. She only had the one daughter at the time. Grace was her only daughter at the time. We actually babysat for her daughter once or twice. When Teddy's parents, when Jason was around here at that time, he had his dog, Nadia, was a little dog. And Grace, Amy Jo's daughter, Nadia was a little thing at the time, just a little pup. She called him Wolfie. I don't like Wolfie, but Wolfie liked her. So anyway, she's come a long way. Amy Jo's really come a long way into being, again, national TV, major congressional testimony. Quick reminder, she will be speaking, as a matter of fact, among those at the Build Back Better rally tomorrow at Heritage Port at noon with Senator Brown from the NAACP, Jenny Craig, teacher, local activist, will be there, Glenn Giffen, among others, and Amy Jo Hutchinson also there. It's going to be a fairly short rally, then I'm going to do a honk and wave. It's all designed to kind of encourage the passage of the Build Back Better bill. Of course, the question I have is, which Build Back Better bill? Now, we had the original one, and now we've got a $1.75 trillion one that Manchin hasn't signed off on yet, and I don't know. All right, it's time for the Friday Roundtable. John McCabe is here with us to talk about a number of issues. Mr. McCabe, good morning, sir.
Hey, Howard, how's it going?
You ready for Halloween?
I think so. I'm kind of sneaking up this year real quick, huh?
That's a great way of saying it is. We talked about that last night. I mean, like Teddy's been preparing for it, and he has his costumes. He has several costumes. I don't know what he's going to wear for Halloween, but so I mean, we know Halloween's coming. But it just suddenly struck me last night. Whoa, wait a minute! Sunday is the night I'm going to hand out candy.
Yeah, and the good thing this year is the Halloween Grinch didn't cancel it. It's pretty awesome,
We can actually have Halloween this
year.
So.
The government has given us permission to leave our homes on Sunday and walk to our neighbors' houses. And how awesome is that?
Isn't that?
Thank goodness for government.
Giving us the permission. Yeah. Last year, did we have any Halloween last year at all?
We did not. I mean, a lot of people still went out because if you remember last year, now we did it in other counties, but here in Ohio County, Saturday morning, it got canceled because of our county, map designation. I think we were red or something then, yeah. And it, caused quite the flurry that morning. But it was kind of like, the whole fireworks ordinance, nobody really paid any attention to it. So just kind of go on your way.
I think I'm trying to remember. I didn't hand out candy last year,
Mhm.
but I think we just put a big bowl
That's
out on the
what-
porch.
yeah, I think that's what a lot of
individually
people
wrapped,
do,
so it's all nothing communal. They're all individually wrapped.
So that
and
means
then-
like the first 3 kids that came through took everything, and everybody else kind of cut the shaft.
John, that thought never crossed my mind. I was talking to my youngest son about this just yesterday, and that's what he said. He says, "Well, Dad," he said, "we're going to take Ariana. We're going to go around with her, so we're going to leave a bowl out for people to get." And his wife Jasmine says, "Well, we can't do that. The first kids that'll come will take them all." Have more faith in people. Have more faith in people, for heaven's sakes. You going to wear a costume?
Probably not. I'm not more. Probably no costumes for me. I'm never. Even when I was a kid, I was never much of a costume guy. I think we've talked about this before. I'm not one. It's like people who style themselves as actors. I'm comfortable with me. I don't need to think about being anybody else to make myself feel good about me. And I just, I'm happy with who I am and content in my own skin. So I don't need a costume or anything else.
Sometimes it's nice just to be somebody else, though.
I don't think. See, not for me, and I don't know why. And it's just makeup or what. But I just don't. I'm not a big. Maybe I'm just a big wet blanket. Maybe that's the better way to look at it.
That's kind of my thought. Is that you just are.
Yeah, my wife
no
just said,
fun,
"Oh goodness!"
John.
So,
That's what it is.
so I just got grief from my wife over that. So who's obviously listening. But no, it's it's just not. And maybe again, I could easily be the anti-fun guy. Is maybe the better way to look at me.
I've said this before. One of the best costumes I ever saw. I didn't wear it. I ever saw. Our friend Powerful Pierre came dressed as me.
Nice.
And I have the pictures. I should post them. Maybe I'll post them on Facebook for Halloween. I got to tell you,
You do a pretty good job.
It was a great imitation of me. Of course, it began with a pillow underneath his shirt, for the belly.
Why would that be? I don't understand that one. That's the only thing I
That was
don't
back in the days when I always wore. People never understand this as radio. I wore a shirt and tie to work all the time for radio, and my tie was it was always too short, so he had a short. Anyways, I'm telling you, he looked just like me. It was a little bit embarrassing almost. All right, 9:21 here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Time for our regular Friday roundtable. I will check out my text line here because at any moment now, I will get a text, I'm sure, from the guy who tells me, "Nobody cares. Why do you talk about this all the time?" Because yet again this morning, John, we have a story about Dr. Evans at West Liberty University.
Yeah. Yesterday, the faculty senate met and in a scheduled meeting, scheduled to address this, met though and voted no confidence in the president, and will relay that to the board. I believe it's next week to the Board of Governors. And I found a couple things really interesting in our discussion with the faculty senate president, Sean Ryan, or Senate Chair. He, as we said last week, the board of governors did its duty. They met. They rendered a decision. Some faculty members aren't happy with it, but the process was followed. As he pointed out, he said, and I'm just reading here, it's important we respect that decision as we wait to see what this, the future punitive actions, disciplinary actions are going to be. So that's interesting, and I think now and I think this needs to be publicly relayed outside of the university family. What is Franklin Evans going to do to regain the trust of the faculty, regain the trust of the board, regain the trust of students and families moving forward? Because this is, it's probably not going to go away anytime soon. A huge deal. Yes and no. Many presidents have votes of no confidence in them at times, or threats of. But this is going to hang over his head if he doesn't deal with it in the appropriate way.
Usually those votes of no confidence come in a confrontation with not just the president, but generally the administration or the governing body. Here you've got Dr. Evans having actually faced an actual termination vote, and he was not terminated, but it was a split vote.
Right.
And then a second vote to put him under discipline. So I mean, he doesn't have the full confidence of the board.
No.
And you got the faculty senate saying they have, I think it was only one vote, and one vote, it was almost unanimous by the faculty senate. No confidence.
Yes.
Am I right about that?
I believe so, yes.
So, I mean, I don't know what all of that says. I don't know what interpretation I want to draw, other than I think you're right. Dr. Evans has got to sort through this and figure out, what does he do here? How does he handle this?
Yeah.
I know you have suggested he still needs to do some sort of a, I don't know, mea culpa tour or something of that nature.
You know, they may, you know, the folks in higher ed maybe that think that's the dumbest idea ever. And what do we know? You know, we're just a couple schlubs talking about stuff on the radio and writing stuff in newspapers. But you know, he's got to do something to you know, again, hunkering down and hoping this passes is not going to work in this one. Sometimes that works. You just weather the storm for a few days and you move on. But this is one that, again, this is one that kind of hits at the core in a lot of ways of higher education, you know, and just in the trust of the folks who are running these institutions. So he's got to, in my, you know, uneducated opinion, I guess, but just an opinion of how you know, properly deal with a situation like this, is he's got to tackle it head on. He's got to get out, meet with people, talk about the issue, not hide from it, not hope that people forget about it. You know, I think he needs to be active and you know, and saying, hey, this is an easy mistake to make it happen to me. You know, here are some ways that, you know, you can help to have it not happen to you. But hope he's planning something like that.
I haven't seen the statement, the actual statement that they're sending off to the board. Have you, or has your
No,
seen that?
not that I'm aware of. No.
Because reading the article, it sounds to me from some of the comments that Mr. Ryan is making that it doesn't just say we have no confidence. It goes a bit further. I'm quoting from the newspaper story. It was discussed in the Senate meeting as a recommendation intended to establish a professional and ethical environment where staff and faculty feel free to voice candid professional perspectives. Apparently, they're asking for a little greater voice in personnel decisions.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious about what else the faculty may be saying and conveying in this statement when they pass it off to the board.
Yeah, same here. And so again, we're going to have to see what you know, what comes of that. But you know, it's an interesting. Again, you know, this story continues to kind of, you know, hang out there, and it's going to be important for you know, West Liberty to deal with this, to plain and simple.
It's interesting because Dr. Evans, I don't know him well. I've only interviewed him a couple of times. He comes across like such a hail fellow, well met. You know what I mean?
I do. Yeah.
I mean, he's very personable. He's likable. He's friendly. He's always smiling. You know, let's be honest. We have seen college presidents. I'm not referencing at West Liberty per se, but we have seen college presidents that can come across as a little bit gruff or as a little bit whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Evans does not come across that way. So
no.
It's an unusual. I suspect this is a really unusual situation for him to be in.
It seems that way. That's for certain. Yeah, I would think it would be an awkward situation for any college president to be in. I mean, again, you know, he is tasked with. When you get down to it, he's tasked with raising money. That is his primary goal, is to raise money. But as part of that, you know, he's out pitching the academic integrity of the university and what it does to prepare you know, the next generations for life. And when he himself is you know, falls a victim to one of the, you know, we'll call basic tenets of education, and, you know, attributing work to others when you use it, or during your own work, if you want to look at it conversely, that's, you know, as we've said from the beginning, and I think as the board's vote showed, that's a tough one to get past. That's a hard one to stomach. You look back and maybe we mentioned this. Gordon Gee, when he was at Ohio State, lost a job for a far less egregious action. For a flippant comment that really wasn't probably that offensive to most people. He lost his job at Ohio State. That's
good for WVU, of course.
Oh, 100%. It worked out extremely well for WVU. But when you think back to what he said, compared to what the allegation is here, or what the infraction is here, I don't see how the two are even comparable. They're two totally different levels of egregious. With, of course, this one being, in my opinion, worse. So, I think that's where, again, Evans really has a lot of work cut out for him, because he does meet with donors. He meets with, he meets with the public. He's out in the public. When he gives a speech now in public, is that going to follow him? Maybe so.
Well, I think the answer is it's going to be in people's minds.
Exactly, yes.
I mean, it can't not be, probably. Apparently, another recommendation from the Faculty Senate, which will go to the board, is that Evans should work with the Faculty Senate to draft and implement an academic integrity policy for all university employees, which actually makes a huge amount of sense. One of the problems we have in disciplining, maybe that's a bad way of phrasing it, but there's a clear policy about what students can and can't do in terms of plagiarism. And I guess there's a sort of a clear academic standard for the faculty when they're acting in their academic capacity, writing papers and so on. But there is no policy, as I understand it, that directly affects the president or any of the administration, I would assume, or perhaps the professors in their non-academic capacity. So actually, I think that makes a lot of sense. There ought to be such a policy in place.
I think it makes just a natural progression with where with this issue that they do that, and I'll give them credit for making sure that it gets addressed, because again, this isn't only something that any professor can fall into this trap. It's an easy thing to have happen. And you've got to make sure, as we've talked for 3-4 weeks now, it's so important today when you're giving a speech or you're writing something that you have to really be thoughtful in how you approach it. And again, if you use something, you just say that according to a Forbes magazine article, or according to an article by Jim Smith that ran in Forbes magazine, here are the things that that you should be ready for in college. And then this isn't an issue. So I think I think the recommendations from the Faculty Senate yesterday, along with the vote of no confidence, good recommendations. I'll be interested to see how they're taken by the Board of Governors next week. But maybe these are good early steps at West Liberty after a few weeks of some turmoil, to start getting things back on a normal track, and again with the ultimate goal of Dr. Evans regaining some semblance of trust with the faculty, regaining more support with board members, showing that he's willing to do the things necessary to restore everyone's faith in him.
Before we take our break, let's stay with higher ed just for one quick second.
Sure.
We mentioned West Liberty. You mentioned E. Gordon Gee, of course, at WVU. He may no longer be the spotlight president of a West Virginia university. I mean, he's the guy that gets all the attention. Jerome Gilbert down at Marshall and predecessors have always been they haven't been as flashy, if that's the right word to use, or in the public eye as E. Gordon Gee has been. But he may be getting a little competition for publicity with the new president selected down at Marshall.
Yeah, Brad Smith, interesting choice. I think that most people thought was the logical choice. He's a West Virginia native, long time, 10, 12-year president of Intuit, a software company, and most people, if you think the name's kind of ringing the bell in the back of your head, he and his wife funded on their own the Ascend West Virginia program that brought professionals from outside of the state here, paid them to move to West Virginia. Many of them work remotely. That's been a model program. So far, it's only a few months into existence, and since the first round of applicants have been chosen. But a guy who has been, a West Virginia guy, I think from Canova, originally Canova, West Virginia, been very successful, and a non-traditional higher ed president, which is going to be interesting. Now,
He was the only one of the 5 finalists that does not have any higher academic experience.
yeah, so we'll see, as we've seen locally and at other places, sometimes the outsiders are when I call outsiders, don't come up through the traditional higher ed route, are welcome with open arms. Sometimes, it doesn't work out very well, as we've seen with Mike Garrison, as we saw with a little bit with Robin Capehart, even though Robin did have a higher ed background as a professor at Marshall and other things. But, this is an interesting hire. One of the things I think over the next 2 years that will be interesting to watch is Governor Jim Justice's influence on happenings at Marshall, and how, we probably won't hear much about it, but how Brad Smith maybe handles that, because the governor is Marshall is his natural affinity is to Marshall University, and he is not shy about.
I believe all of the Marshall Board of Governors have been appointed by Jim Justice now.
Yes. And so it's going to
they're
be
all his appointees.
Yeah, but what I will say is I don't think Gordon Gee will be upstaged by Brad Smith, because I don't think Brad Smith has anywhere near the extensive bow tie collection that Gordon does. And how can you not like Gordon Gee? There's just no two ways around it, Howard. He's in the perfect position at the perfect time to kind of at the twilight of his career. And it's funny how Ohio State's misgivings turned into, or not misgivings, but they were quick to part company with him, and it was just a perfect opportunity for WVU, and he has definitely made a big difference. But congratulations to Brad Smith. I think he's got an opportunity to really increase Marshall's stature, and maybe with his connections in the tech community, maybe find ways to leverage that with some opportunities that otherwise wouldn't be there for either for students leaving or for the university itself.
Yeah, I think that's very, very positive. All right, let's take a break. We've got a couple other things we'll have a chance to talk about when we come back. The Friday Roundtable underway. John McCabe is here with me. It is 9:30, 6:24 before the hour on the Watchdog Morning Show.
The Metro News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
West Virginia Metro News, I'm Carrie Hudasek. Wood County Commission President David Blair Couch says the commission is seeking outside legal help to see if it should pursue an attempt to remove Sheriff Steve Stevens from office. Couch says there have been a number of allegations against Stevens.
We're not taking this lightly. I mean, I think the commission agrees we have a moral and ethical duty to do whatever we can to sort this out.
You can read more at WVMetroNews.com. A West Virginia State University soccer player wants a say in connection with a federal case about the state's new law affecting transgender athletes. Metro News statewide correspondent Brad McElhaney says Lainey Armistead, a college junior from Kentucky, filed a motion to intervene.
Armistead's motion says she seeks to defend the new law, which defines male and female as, quote, based solely on the individual's reproductive biology and genetics at birth. That definition doesn't take gender identity into account.
Earlier this year, West Virginia joined dozens of states placing restrictions on transgender athletes' participation on sports teams. A grim discovery for a tree trimming crew in Mason County. Sheriff's deputies say the crew was working on Gill Ridge Road in the Letart area at around 1:30 Thursday afternoon when they found an abandoned pickup truck and a body in the bed. Deputies are investigating the death as a homicide. The victim's name has not been released, and the body was sent to the state medical examiner's office. You're listening to Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. Preston County Health Department Administrator VJ Davis says they're starting to see a decline in new COVID-19 cases.
For the most part, these last few weeks, we've just seen kind of all over the place. There hasn't been any real, smoking guns to say that we've had any one event that's led to a lot of positives.
Data shows 190 active cases in the county. The highest infection rate is in the 5 to 11-year-old age group. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Kerry Hudasek.
Thursday night football, the visiting Green Bay Packers defeated the Arizona Cardinals 24-21. This is Green Bay Packer quarterback Aaron Rodgers.
I think we're a gritty football team. I think nobody probably expect us to win tonight. Definitely not to be, maybe to be in the game, but definitely not to win with the guys that we had out. I'm really proud of the guys. I felt like we had a lot of confidence.
First loss of the year for Arizona. Their overall record, they dropped to 7-1. The Packers improved to 7-1. Sunday afternoon in Cleveland, the 3-3 Steelers visit the 4-3 Cleveland Browns. How will the Steelers stop that Browns running game? This is Pittsburgh defensive captain Cam Hayward.
Just comes down to guys staying in the gaps, getting off blocks. They've got strong runners, so we got to make tackles. And, if we can do that and get them behind the chains, we have a better chance.
Meanwhile, Steeler quarterback Ben Roethlisberger is impressed with the Cleveland Browns' defense.
You could look at the offensive side of the ball, how well they run the ball and this, that, and the other, but we're going against a defense that's really, really good, and so that's going to bring a whole new challenge.
On their home ice, the Penguins, they were shut out by the visiting Calgary Flames. 4-0 was the final score. This is Penguins head coach Mike Sullivan, who felt that his team gave Calgary too many scoring opportunities.
We needed to make it a little bit harder on them, I think, to get the type of looks that they got. I thought, we self-inflicted a little bit, but they're guys that when you give them opportunities, they're going to finish, and they did. So we've got to be better.
Penguins back in action Saturday when they host New Jersey. I'm Bill DeFabio on sports, and we are the Watchdog, your voice in the Ohio Valley.
The Variety Show with Bill DeFabio is live on the Watchdog Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. We talk to some of the region's best business owners while keeping you informed about area events and happenings. You won't believe who I have on next. Tune in and get with the program. Guests from preachers to pros and even some Super Bowl champions. Join me, Bill DeFabio, from noon to 2 for the Variety Show on the Watchdog.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts.
I'm Josh from Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration. I hope you are staying healthy. We continue to respond to structural, fire, and water emergencies. We are combating COVID-19 with our highly trained staff and latest disinfection systems, providing preventative and reactive disinfection to facilities around the region, while working with area hospitals on isolation areas and air filtering. At Panhandle, we continue to follow social distancing and hygiene protocols. We are dedicated to our community, and together we will get through this.
With the weather changing, it's good to know Toyota has a wide range of all-wheel drive vehicles, like a stylish Camry, right now with up to $1,250 total cash allowance. Or go with an Avalon with up to $3,000 total cash allowance. Visit buyatoyota.com today and find a dealer near you. You can take cash back or apply toward down payment. Offers may vary for hybrid models. See your dealer for details. Offers end November 1st. Toyota. Let's go places.
West Virginia Northern Community College will host its fall open house, both in person and virtually, on Saturday, November 6th, from 9 a.m. to noon. Both formats allow you to learn about programs, admissions, financial aid, and more. If you attend in person in New Martinsville, Wheeling, or Weirton, you can also tour the campus. Everyone participating in Northern's open house could win a $1,000 scholarship. For more information, visit wvncc.edu.
And the Nailers with the most dramatic of victories. 5 seconds left, they score. Nailers hockey is coming back, and so should you. Join us for opening night Saturday, November 6th. Puck drops at 7:10 at West Banco Arena. Kick the night off with a pregame fan fest with inflatables for all ages, plus postgame autographs. And each fan takes home a magnet schedule. Gotta get back to the excitement of Nailers opening night. Buy your tickets now. Call 304-234-GOLD or go to WheelingNailers.com.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
If you're on Medicare and have questions about health and drug coverage options, join the Ohio Department of Insurance at a Medicare event near you. Learn about Medicare open enrollment, financial assistance programs, and important deadlines. Everyone on Medicare should review their health and drug plan options. Annual open enrollment runs October 15th through December 7th, and new plan coverage begins January 1st. Visit insurance.ohio.gov or call 1-800-686-1578 to find an event near you.
This is the sound of a popular American motorcycle. It's the sound of freedom, the open road, really good times. And this is what it sounds like with a drunk guy in it. How do you like the sound of that? Cops are cracking down on drunk motorcycle riders. If you ride drunk, you will get caught and you will get arrested. Drunk riding, over the limit, under arrest. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Transportation.
Friday nights in the fall are reserved for high school football, and the 20-year tradition continues on Metro News. It's Summit Community Bank High School Game Night with Fred Persinger and Dave Jecklin, celebrating 20 years of bringing you up-to-the-minute scores, conference standings, player and coach interviews, and more. Tune in all season long to follow your favorite school. Friday nights from 9:30 to midnight. Summit Community Bank High School Game Night on this Metro News station.
Here's a look at the Ohio Valley local news week in review with newspaper editor John McCabe and Howard Monroe.
We were talking about Brad Smith, the newly appointed president of Marshall University. He will be on with Hoppy Kercheval today. You get to hear from Brad Smith talking today with Hoppy right at 10:06 this morning when Talk Line gets underway. Also, a lot of sports talk today. Tony Caridi coming in to join Hoppy to talk about the upcoming WVU football game. And Fred Persing will be in to talk about high school football tonight. Plus, of course, it's Friday, and so you know what that means, Biff.
Oh, yes, theme release.
Theme release, where you can call in and say what you want to say, and Hoppy can't respond, even if you call him dirty words. Not too dirty, but
Make sure
dirty words.
Make sure they're clean and legal dirty
yes,
words.
Keep it legal, keep it clean. Other than that, if they're dirty, like Hoppy, you're a no good bum. Hoppy, you've become a liberal. He gets that a lot anymore. Hoppy, you're becoming a liberal. I think, honestly, when I think about it, this is the power that I have. Because I've been helping to bring Hoppy Kercheval over to my side. John McCabe has been coming over to my side. I mean, I'm finally beginning to convince people that I'm right. I'm pretty sure that's what's happening. Speaking of John McCabe, he's here with us this morning.
I didn't know if you expect me to say anything to that because I wasn't planning on it. So, hey, I did get a quick note during the break too, and very good point. David Hardesty at WVU, another really good example of we look at Brad Smith and going forward. If you look at what David Hardesty, a non-traditional college president, really. If you trace back into the mid-'90s when he came in, really kind of set the stage for WVU's emergence from a regional university to a Tier 1 research institution, an R1 research institution, and it has just a higher level of national relevance now. So good. Thanks for the note on that. But Brad Smith's got some good opportunities at Marshall.
Yeah, it's a really good point. Hardesty really was turn around's not the right word. but he really was the one that helped to move
Mhm.
WVU to the next level.
Exactly.
No question about that.
Yep.
And I liked him. I always liked him. My kids were there under
Mm-hmm.
Hurtis' tenure, and I thought he was really good. Yeah, and I think sometimes this goes to the misconception that some people have that the president of the university is sort of the top professor.
Right. Yeah, it's
And
not
that
that.
isn't
That's the
really-
provost,
that-
in essence.
Yeah, that's the provost. Exactly right. That's where I think some people get confused. If you have the right person, with yes some academic understanding, but with a lot of ability to manage, to lead, to be creative, to think, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's and raise money, as you point out, John.
Yeah.
That's the really first function of a college president. They are not the top professor.
No.
In terms of the academic side of things, the provost takes that job. A couple of real quick stories. Let me ask you, what do you want to talk about? I've only got time for one or two stories here, real fast.
You know, I think one of the more interesting things in this morning's edition of the newspaper on public nuisance and landlords. I think that's a really interesting proposal that's being made. So what City Council is doing right now, if Howard Monroe owns a house in any neighborhood in Wheeling, right now there's not much effort made by the city if they believe that house falls under their public ordinance or public nuisance ordinance in terms of people dealing drugs out of there or other things. Right now the landlord, as the owner of the property, can be pulled right into municipal court and have to go through that rigmarole and what is through the municipal court system. So what Jerry Sklavanakis, who is an attorney and member of council, and looks like he's going to have support from Ben Seidler at a minimum. What they are proposing, or what Jerry's proposing, is that the city manager, the police chief, other interested parties have to make multiple good faith efforts to contact the property owner. To contact the property owner before they haul them into municipal court, to give the property owner opportunities to fix the problem, outside of the court system, so that could, and give better tools maybe for evictions and other things. So I find that to be an interesting step, a really good step for landowners, for property owners who are dealing with at times what can be really tough situations. But I find that to be a really good first step in helping kind of level the playing field between tenants and landlords, particularly when you have issues like this where the landlords up till now have not had a lot of opportunity to do anything about this problem other than get hauled into municipal court.
Yeah, as a general rule, I tend to be one who will side with the tenants over landlords. It's my nature. But I think in this case it's a good point. Landlords shouldn't be held accountable for the tenants' actions unless they've been given a chance to correct it.
Yes.
I mean, that to me makes perfect sense. Okay, there are people in your property dealing drugs, as an example. We are alerting you to that and alerting you to the fact that at some point we're going to have to deal with that. So now you as the landlord have a chance to deal with it with your tenant. That makes perfect sense to me. The issue will go before council, I think, next week. So
Tuesday, yes.
Yep. John, I'm out of time. Appreciate it as always, my friend.
Howard.
We'll do it again next week. Talk to you soon. Bye. John McCabe, managing editor of the local newspaper, with us every Friday for the Roundtable. Every day, right around this time, it is time to see what's working at the Big 7, WTRF TV, and Bob Westfall is here with that. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Howard. How is everything in your world?
I'm all ready for Halloween weekend. Halloween.
Oh, yeah? Me too. I'm all ready. Actually, I hate to say it, I got to pick up candy yet. I forgot all about that. But other than that, I'm ready to go.
We were actually talking about that earlier this week. I've known Halloween's coming. My grandson has got a couple of costumes. We've been talking about Halloween. But it wasn't until last night I thought, I got to get candy to give away.
My house has been decorated since mid-September. You'd think that would be one of the things I would think about, but apparently not.
You're right. Every time I walk in the house, there's the big witch out there and all of the, the spooky decorations and so on. But
don't be picking on me.
Really, it was last night. I thought, I got to get some candy. Yeah. I think it's when I was eating candy that made me think I should get some for other people too.
He didn't get it, Biff.
No, he didn't. I did, though.
I know.
I missed it. What, did I miss something?
Oh, yeah, you missed something.
This segment sometimes just gets me a little distressed.
Well, it's a good thing well, never mind. Speaking of witches, our final piece of Haunted Ohio Valley airs tonight. It should be pretty good. Stephen Moore setting out the dead of night to Egypt Valley in Belmont County. Actually went out with a couple paranormal investigators to the area, Salem Cemetery. We all know the history behind that. Louise's grave is out there, and we've all heard the stories of hauntings and strange lights, and Lady Bend, Lady Bend Road, I think that's what it's called, things like that in Belmont County. So we're going to see. He did come back. He did come back in one piece. No more possessed than he was when he left. So it should be a good piece. I can't wait for it to see it. He was really excited about it. He really liked it. So we'll see how that goes. So we've got that tonight in our 5 o'clock.
It's been a good series. I like that series. It's been fun.
Yeah, it's some interesting things. And everybody who did the story really enjoyed it. So I'm glad that it's nice for the last year and a half that we've been doing stories of COVID, hospitalizations, and death. It's kind of nice to go off the beaten path a little bit and have a little bit of fun this month. So yeah, our last one's today. So we will have that today. So Stephen Moore will have that. So I'm excited about that. That one will be at 5. A couple other things we're working on. Harrison County Jail. They've been working on it for a while now. I know, good gosh, it's probably back when Dave Elias was still here. We were talking about the situation with the jail in Harrison County and situations there. That they've now moved to the old reserve unit that is on 250 there as you come into town. But Governor DeWine will be in town in Cadiz today to give out a little bit of some of the, I believe it's probably the American the Funds Act.
CARES Act. Yeah.
Yep, CARES Act to the jail, so they'll expand and so that's some good news for Harrison County. I'm all excited about that. I know that Sheriff Myers up there has been working on that, like I said, for a long time. So that's some good news for that community. So we'll have that today as well. Memorial service this afternoon, fallen firefighters memorial service. I do believe DK is telling me that has been moved indoors at West Banco Arena. So that will be held instead of at the ceremony at the memorial outside there on the riverbank. It will be moved inside. So that should be quite a special service. It is every year. So we will be there, and we will have that story on our 6. Of course, weather's the story. Looks like it's going to rain all day. Looks like it may continue in tomorrow, which is kind of, because trick or treat in my neck of the wood is actually tomorrow. But I think Wheeling is Sunday. So Sunday's looking better than Saturday. So Aaron's on it right now. Zach will be on it tonight. So we'll have your weather. And, of course, high school football, we're going to be live at the Wheeling Park game with Scott. Playoffs start in Ohio. This is the last week of the regular season here in West Virginia. So our crews are going to be everywhere the next 2 days, tonight and tomorrow, covering high school football. Steelers play again this weekend. And I don't know who they've got. Huh?
Browns.
They got the Browns. I should know that. So they got the Browns this weekend. So Scott will have all that stuff. And Mountaineers play this weekend. So exciting football weekend here in the Ohio Valley.
All right. All of that coming up today on the Big 7 at noon, 5, 6, 11, 10:30, the 5:30, the statewide show. As always, on Facebook at WTRF.com. And for those folks who just want to have it right at their fingertips, download the news app and the Storm Tracker 7 app. And you've got news and weather wherever you go.
Always. You always have it. That's the biggest thing, especially when you've got weather to deal with. To have those two apps is very important.
Absolutely.
So,
have yourself a good weekend.
Biff, will you explain it to him after we're done here? What happened?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
I will.
All right, I appreciate it.
Have a good weekend, Bob. Buy the kids some candy. Maybe I'll see you at the candy store because I'm going to buy mine too. We'll talk to you Monday. Have a good weekend.
You have a great weekend, sir.
All right. Thanks. So, I missed something, Biff.
Oh yeah, yeah. You definitely missed something.
Did he take a shot? Did he take a shot again?
Not at you. He was trying to warn you.
Oh, I see. I'll have to go back and listen to the tape, I guess.
I'll explain it to you in a minute.
All right. Well, it's time for me to say sayonara, see you, bye-bye, farewell. I got to go. I got to get out of here. Kirchhoff's got the comm coming up next with Statewide Talk Line. And as for me, as always, good Lord willing, creeks don't rise. Bat phone doesn't ring. Don't get impeached. Don't retire. I don't get spooked to death during Halloween. And Teddy says, it's okay. You can go back to work on Monday, Granddad. I'll be back Monday morning, 7 o'clock, another go-around of the big gig. Are you back with me, Biff?
I am back Monday ready to start another week and new month.
We're going to keep on doing it. New month, December is here. Holy mackerel, jeez. We're going to keep on doing it until we get it right.
That could be a long time.
Indeed.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
I'm Dave Packer.
All right, Biffy. So, what did I miss? Was I talking overs? Yeah. Oh. Oh. Okay, so, all right, I got it. I got it now. Now I get it. All right, now I got it. Now I got it. All right. Let's see. I think I got nothing to do today, so I'll be around here. Nancy actually went to today's Teddy's Halloween parade, so Jason and Natalie and Nancy all went to the parade. He's parading about now, I guess. It's Halloween. They're going to have to, yeah, I think hopefully they'll move it indoors. It was supposed to be parade around the campus, but I think they'll have to move it indoors, I guess. Actually, when I'm done talking to you, I'm going to pull it up. They might still be doing it because they're going to put it on YouTube too. So I'll have to see if I can find it. All right. This was a good week. Had a lot of good stuff this week. I have 0 for Monday. I got nothing planned for Monday. So it is. I'll come up with something. We'll work something out. But this was a good week. I actually marked all of this week's shows as backup shows. If we ever do need a backup, any show this week would have been, is there generic enough to use as a backup? I would be posting podcasts, but it tells me we're out of space on our podcast page, which SoundCloud. That's something different. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what that's all about because I thought we had an unlimited. The unlimited plan's cheap. I have an unlimited plan just for myself. I thought I'm sure the company had one. I don't know what's happened. Something's gotten screwed up, but I can't. I don't understand it. Yeah, but the plan that tells us to purchase is, I thought, the plan that we had, which is it's $15 a month, $12 if you buy it paid by the year, which is what I thought we already had, and that's unlimited. I mean, it's a really good deal. I've always expected them to end that someday, to say, you can't have unlimited space forever for $15, but I don't know. So I've edited shows up. I have the podcast saved on my computer, but I can't put them up to. Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah. So I don't know what the story is, but I mean, heck, I'll pay for it. It's $12 a month. I'll pay for $12 a month if we need to do that. I think it's probably just something that slipped through the cracks somewhere. I would assume. Yep. All right. Anyway, I'll be home all weekend, so if you need anything, give me a call. Otherwise, I'll just talk to you Monday, and you have yourself a good weekend. All right. Thanks a lot. Appreciate your help, as always. Bye.
$100 million in attorney's fees, settlements, and other costs. Another $178 million has been spent complying with court orders in the wake of allegations that Arpaio's department racially profiled Latinos during traffic stops. Mark Remillard, ABC News.
This is ABC News.
At CDW, we get the right network makes remote locations seem less remote.
Great, because my data is lagging out here.
CDW can orchestrate the Aruba Edge Services platform, bringing computing closer to where data is created. It automates, unifies, and secures the edge, fixing problems before they impact your business, giving your network a sixth sense. Someone at the door?
Just a moose. He works here.
Ah. Aruba and IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Find out more at cdw.com/Aruba.
Dave Packer, ABC News.
Hi, it's Hoppy Kercheval inviting you to join me weekdays, 10 till noon for Statewide Talk Line. We talk about the big stories affecting us in West Virginia. We talk with top political figures, sports personalities, and sometimes just us folks talking, all offering our opinions on what's happening today. 10 till noon, right after the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm the Storm Tracker Darnell Foster with a look at your local weather forecast for your Friday, with rain showers likely to start the day, ending up mostly cloudy, an afternoon high near 59. Overnight low of 49 under mostly cloudy skies. Clouds, few scattered showers around for your Saturday, with highs in the upper 50s. Have a great weekend, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
You're never too far from the most local programming in the Ohio Valley. Find us here. AM 1600 and 1370. FM 98.1 and 97.7. We are the Watchdog. The Watchdog. The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
Good morning. Welcome to Talk Line on the Metro News Radio Network.
Do not attempt to change the station. You are surrounded. We interrupt this program to bring you an emergency news bulletin. Repeat, this is an emergency bulletin. Keep your radio turned on.
Holy smoke. From the studios of the West Virginia Radio Corporation and the Metro News Radio Network, the voice of West Virginia, comes the most powerful radio show in West Virginia. This is Metro News Talk Line with Hoppy Kercheval.
Check set lineup link. Activated Telos telephone. Switch network control from Charleston to Morgantown.
Stand by. Q Hoppy. You're on.
Metro News Talk Line with Hoppy Kercheval is brought to you by Encoga Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encoga.com to learn more.
Good morning. Welcome to the show. Luke Wiggs is our producer. Taylor Kennedy with a video stream you can watch at WVMetroNews.com. Phone number 1-800-765-8255 or text me 304-TALK-304. 304-TALK-304. Read them all. And read some on the air. Try to respond to as many as possible. Steam release comes your way at 11:33